Hi everyone, this is Beverly signing on to welcome you all to another video and to welcome you all back to Dicey Dungeon. Today I will be continuing on with the warrior dice, and I'm actually going to be jumping ahead to the level that I had died at in my previous video, since the beginning levels are less interesting and less intense. I've been practicing a lot more recently, and I'm feeling much more confident in my abilities, but let me tell you, I feel like I have to earn it to show you the boss battle because there are just simply too many close calls during these final stages and levels. Sometimes it does feel unfair when I lose simply to the fact that I'm just unlucky and that I just didn't get the right dice roll, but that's just another spicy element, if you will, to earning the rewards. It's a game of chance that you have to work in order to play for it. That sounds fun, right? I think it's fun. This game makes every element feel like a dice roll because I have now won about 3 times and lost 3 times on just this level alone. But each time that I've encountered, there are different enemies, different cards, different equipment, and options as well. Also, I figured out that in the Dicey Wiki, the things that you collect for attacking are actually called equipment. So I'll probably be going back and forth between calling them equipment and cards because honestly, cards rolls off the tongue a little bit easier. But a lot of times when it comes to the gameplay on the specific dice levels, it can be broken down into 2 main attack advantages, kind of like comparing freezing dice versus burn dice. You only get like one or the other. And so far, I'm leaning more towards trying to affect dice as much as I can, affect my enemy's dice with the different cards that I collect. But I believe so far I have yet to get any sort of regenerating health card, but so far it seems to be working out for me. Okay, so here's where I don't need to freak out. I need to stay cool and collected because this is the same spot that I was at the last time I died. And this time I do have a different enemy instead, so it might go a bit better. Something that I think is so fun and just another element that elevates this game for me is that I want to point out how enemies aren't just restricted to being found on one level or found on one difficulty. This is talking about the fact that each playthrough has something totally different to it and no one gameplay is identical to the other. This enemy here, the dire wolf, can actually be found on level 1 or level 4 of a dungeon. On level 1, it is a lower level enemy called Wolf Puppy here on the screen, which is just a cute little brown dog, and it has a little bandana, like it is just adorable. And it does just have such a low health and low attack levels back in level 1. But if you don't end up finding it on level 1, there is a chance that you'll see it with its evolution called Dire Wolf on level 4. In fact, this doesn't happen to just this character. It can happen to many others, and this level of appreciation that I have just adds to this game and keeps me encouraged to play it even more. And man, there's just so many other things that I really can just go on and on about how this game is truly the #1 spot in my heart. I like how every gameplay is different, and the only thing that stays consistent is the fact that it is simply a game of rolling dice. The animation and cartoon style is just so fun and fresh, and the humor of it all is just so enjoyable. Finally, the high stakes of it being a dungeon game just adds to the thrill of it all and making it more exciting to just be considered as, oh, a game that you roll dice for. There's just so much more to it, and I love it. Right now, I don't want to talk about gameplay strategy, but instead I want to mention future plans that I have for this channel. Now that I'm able to more consistently follow through with a 1 video a week schedule, please forgive me for last week. I went to see one of my favorite bands in concert and I didn't know what to do with myself afterwards. I'm definitely getting more and more inspired to make all sorts of content. This is so exciting for me, and I hope that it will benefit this channel more too. I'm so much happier with the overall quality that I'm able to produce in nearly all aspects that it goes into to making a YouTube video and maintaining a channel. I really hope that this is represented and reflecting to you as well as the viewer. I think that I'm ready to branch out and feature more videos other than gaming content. I know I know, it's a shock, but I would like to consider making crafting videos and sharing the different hobbies and passions that I have, because there's more to me than just video games, and especially just these two little ones that I've been really enjoying lately. This is honestly a pretty scary thing for me to admit for me, simply because it's all so new to me and it puts me in a more vulnerable spot that I'm used to. But anyway, before this video gets away from me and I lose more viewers at this point of the video, I'll go ahead and get off my little soapbox here. Right now, I have to point out just how long these battles feel after I've played these before. In the moment, I think I recorded for a total of like 35 minutes from start to end. And while I was playing, it felt so fast because all my focus was just on high alert the entire time. I did originally record a voiceover at the same time that I was playing just to try something new, but man, I was just rambling on and on while also trying to over-explain things that were happening. I just really didn't want to screw anything up, and at this point I have to minimize any damage that I'm taking because there's just absolutely no way of getting any of it back. Unless of course it's from apples or leveling up, but that's very rare to happen too. But it's wild to realize that the deeper you get into these levels and these dungeons, the longer the battle gets, and it just makes sense because it just feels so rewarding to kind of push through the early stages and then see how long you can last near the end and just see how strong you can be at points. Or honestly, just trying to be efficient and clever with the choices that you're making. Okay, and at the last of the Kraken's health, I'm going to go ahead and skip the last two enemies and just get straight into the boss battle. Alright, starting off strong by getting a bunch of 1 rerolls back to back. Love that for me. But man, I am nervous. I believe I have only fought this boss once before, and I remember her kicking my butt immediately off the bat. Thankfully though, her equipment are low damage individually speaking, so many of her forms of attack it's going to be constantly shocking my equipment instead. Although it is always scary seeing that her health bar is nearly twice the size as mine, so I feel like I need to counteract that by doing as much damage as I can. And another thing that is to my advantage is the fact that she is only limited to 4 dice, while sometimes I get the opportunity to have more than 5 dice at a time. This helps me in the end since she does have a major ability to shock my cards all at once, so I'm basically able to have a few extra dice that can be considered like throwaway. Okay, so here's the final turn, and if you look at that, clearly my shield equipment really came in handy for me since I was able to take such little damage from her this entire time. I would consider that a top strategy to keep in mind when you aren't given anything to help you to regenerate your health during battles. So with this successful run of the Warrior Dice episode 2, I'm thinking there are going to be even greater opportunities to get my butt kicked later down the line. However, I do not think that this is the last that we will be seeing the Warrior Dice for now. I do have something fun planned coming this month of October. If you have stayed to this point of the video, thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed this latest episode of Dicey Dungeons. You can definitely look forward to more videos coming to you soon. If you feel like sticking around for similar content, please subscribe. This is Beverly signing off. Bye!